Okay, I've been doing massage therapy I started practicing in 2003, so that gives me almost 14 years. And then I became a licensed medical professional in the state of Ohio in 2007. I've been using the deep recovery tools for 4 years. And what do I like about them? I like that, well, I don't have to pay $100 a session to use them. That's one. I know that I'm going to get the release I need where I need it, and that there's no time limit. So if I need to sit on something for a while for it to let out and then move forward and sit there for a while and let that let out, I don't have to wonder, okay, well, time is ticking away and my money's going down the drain and I'm not getting what I need. I know I'm getting what I need. And when I do my recovery practice, sometimes I'll be with that whole system 2 hours, just 2 hours just doing it, laying on it, breathing, relaxing. And I have to say that sometimes I'm sore after I go through a deep recovery, but with regular practice, I'm not sore. So I love it. I'm really glad they have it. I do experience regular pain in my hands and arms, in my shoulders, in my neck, and in my back, because manual therapy practice is a full body job. I do get manual massage at least once a month. Twice a month is optimal. But I do find, besides the lifestyle habits, the deep recovery tools are excellent for that. They help me to get to a point where I'm not suffering from pain, and it helps to facilitate the recovery. When I'm doing asana or yoga practice, that really helps me a lot. Because you can't stretch a tight muscle, unbeknownst to most people. You can't stretch a tight muscle. You actually really have to release it. And I just think that the deep recovery tools are excellent for that. I love the 4-inch balls. I was so grateful when I got them. Yay! I love these. I really do. One of the things I like about it is I just take it to the gym. So if I'm going to go to the gym, foam rollers are okay, but they don't get those really specific parts, and it's a lot to take my massage track where I'm going, and I don't always get the amount of space covered that I'd like to have covered with the smaller balls, and this is like perfect. So I take this with me to the gym, and after training, then I'll use this almost everywhere. So I almost use it like a foam roller when I'm using this. And I have to say, maybe this isn't appropriate, but I put it in bed with me, and I don't get the deep tissue release like I would with a trigger point, but I get the fascial opening by resting on it. And I don't have to worry about, I'm spending 3 hours rolling my body out. I just switch it while I'm resting in bed, move it around. And I have been out of hip pain these have been excellent. These balls have been excellent for me, because when I do use them in bed, I have to say, because they have kept me out of hip pain and low back pain a lot. Like before I had these, I was really struggling with low back and hip pain. It was like a chronic thing that I'd have to mitigate all the time, sometimes taking ibuprofen that I wouldn't want to take just so that I could work. But when I can release with these at night after working a long day and I don't have the strength to really roll out because I've worked 7 hours of manual labor, if I can just rest on these, it releases, in specific, the TFL, tensor fasciae latae muscle that goes into the lateral IT band. That changes my life. And it has really decreased my hip pain, which decreases my back pain. And I just am so grateful. Because trying to do physical labor and being in pain is not fun. And it doesn't help my clients get a good treatment. I mean, well, everybody gets a good treatment. I'm the one that suffers. My clients always get a good treatment. I'm the one that suffers because I refuse to not serve them to the highest capacity each time, which is why I'm so busy. I've been an athlete most of my life, and I'm muscularly dense, and I train hard in order to be able to serve long and do consistent work each time on every client. That being said, sometimes I need seriously deep relief in especially the muscles along my spine and in my hips. And these deep recovery tools and the body track in particular really help me to do that, so that I can continue to go there. And also, if I were to get like a person to do that deep tissue work, I mean, they are going to be tired. It will wear them out, and it will cost me, I mean, I would probably need a 2-hour session, which should be at least $150. And then my therapist is tired and they're worn out. This way I can use the body track and the deep recovery tools that help to almost prepare me for a manual session, where they can kind of just sort of brush it up and finish it all off and reset the whole system, as opposed to having to spend a lot of time just getting into those specific points that are really, really tight and dense. I don't worry about losing clients to tools like deep recovery because I have beyond my capacity to serve people more than once every 2 weeks, actually. So I like these kinds of tools because they actually hold my clients over till they can get to their next manual therapy session, and keep them from getting hurt if they're really active. It really keeps them from potentially causing them injury because they have bound tissue, and if they can't get in to see me in time, they have something that can hold them over. What the deep recovery tools do for me is they increase the range of motion without pain. That's the main thing, because when you have a really tight muscle and you stretch it, the body's response is to tighten it. It's under the impression, the body's nervous system is under the impression that it's holding for a reason. It's trying to keep joint integrity, whatever the situation. Sometimes chronic stress or repetitive movement, and the tissue gets tight and bound up there. And so what's great is that once you can release that tissue, then you can get a good stretch. Then you can realign the tissue. And that's what I really like about those recovery tools. I would recommend the deep recovery tools for anybody who had really good range of motion and ambulation. So if people were able to walk and move fairly well, that these deep recovery tools would be excellent for them. People who are maybe in recovery from joint trauma or surgery, it depends. You'd have to be really careful for them. People who were fragile, like elderly people who didn't have a lot of strength and ambulation, you'd probably want to be careful with them on that. But these balls, I would recommend more so than just the smaller balls or from the massage track system, because they're not so hard, but yet they're engaging on the tissue. Older people's tissue, unless they're athletic and well nourished, tends to be atrophied, tight, very sinewy, not a lot of muscle mass. You'd want to be careful with people like that.